Hello, Leo. Thank you so much for being here, you guys, and my apologies for being late. I have not been feeling the greatest, and I sound like shit right now. Please forgive my voice, but thank you so much, you guys, for being here. All right, my Leos, the right way, learning to create what you desire, and then you have imagine. Very clearly, some of you are wanting to turn those, fantasies into reality, right? So it kind of has like a Seven of Cups type of feel. And it's funny because I've been saying consistently with that card that if you can see it, you can create it. But there is an obstacle, I feel like, that is in the way for some of you right now, because the right way is talking about wanting to break through to the other side of a situation. You want a life transition right now, but you want to make sure that what you're creating is done in the right way. And it's interesting to me because I've been feeling that for Leo for quite some time. It's okay to fantasize about certain things, but if you have to do things in the wrong way, you're not going to do it. But I'm looking at this and thinking you're going to have to take some steps right now. Wherever you feel stuck or whatever is blocking you, you have to take care of it, and you have to start turning these desires into manifestation, right? All right, Leo, here we go. Here's your overall. Very nice. Very nice. The Ace of Pentacles. Can you imagine it? Then you can create it, right? The Ace of Pentacles being the overall, we're talking about a new beginning for you, right? And that's what our life is. It's endings and new beginnings. It's a constant cycle. But I like this one because we're talking about realistic, right? Continued growth. This could be a new job. For some of you, yeah, it could be about a relationship here, but it's about, starting something here that's going to give you physical results, because the Pentacles are going to be about, what we have in the physical world, right? But I like this one because it's realistic, it's practical, it's worth working toward, Oh my God, in the past, death. Oh. All right. So death being the past. And we'll see how this is playing out. I've been talking about this card a lot lately with my close friends in doing readings with them. And this is one of the things I used to talk about too with, personal readings. Sometimes death comes in because we're sitting on our ass and we're refusing to make a change. And it's like the universe going, okay, if you're not going to handle it, we will, and you're not going to like it, right? So that's why I usually say with death, it's happening. It is happening, and you don't have a choice. You either go along with it or go kicking and screaming. It's one or the other. For some of you, you may be clinging on to something from the past that is definitely over. For some of you, you've been through a major fucking life change. Something is definitely over, but it is the phoenix though, right? Rising above the ashes, being reborn. But it creates this beautiful opportunity. And the other thing that I talk about with death is that, what is death trying to show you? Do you see why this happened? Because a part of your life has to come to an end before we can see the new beginnings that we desire, Big, 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 big. Oh my God, Leo. In the present moment, the Ace of Wands. What I like here is that, especially if this is in terms of like career, we'll start there. With death, this is saying that something has definitely come to an end here, but you may not be seeing the new opportunity that's like being presented to you. But I want to see what's going on here. But the Ace of Wands is like, there's a new start in your life now, and it's enough to light that fire under your ass and make you want to go after something, right? It's the passion, it's new creative ideas. Some cases it's the boner card, right? And I love when like Kay from Kalo's Tarot talks about it. Passion and drive. But it's just the start here. But you're looking at something that's being started in a very realistic way with the Ace of Coins. So we're not just being driven by absolute passion here. But some of you may have a desire to do something creative, but it can turn into, something that becomes financially beneficial for you. If it's about relationship, well, you went through a major fucking ending here, but there is a new beginning that's happening for you. For sure, for sure. Future conditions, the Hierophant. Okay. Now, and this may be the block. Now, I like the Hierophant, I do. But we're talking about conformity here, traditional values, and major commitments. Now, for some of you, and that's why we're looking at the Ace of Coins being the overall rather than being a little bit further along in the process. Like, I would rather see like an 8 or even a 7 at this point, but we're still looking at a new beginning here. But is it because of values? You know, sometimes the Hierophant can be too constrictive, right? Like, and I'm just being honest here, and it's only going to be for some of you. I feel like something that you may have committed to is like keeping you bound, like you have to see it through to the end. But the thing is, you know, something has to come to an end. And this is where I feel like there's that clingy part with death coming through, right? Like, we're not allowing a situation to die, even though there's an opportunity in your present moment to follow a passion for you. But I still like the fact that the Ace of Pentacles is the overall. I just wish that it was a little bit more further progressed. So the Hierophant, one of the things I talk about with this one is him ruling the fives. We're talking about getting spiritual understanding over all of the difficult changes that we've been through, especially with death. I kind of feel like for those of you who haven't been through like a major fucking life change, this is going to be about a situation that you know needs to die. It needs to be over with, but you keep clinging onto it even though it's over and you're not making the changes that you need to, even though there's an opportunity for you to do it. But that's because of traditional value with the Hierophant. Now, for those of you who have been through a lot of difficulty, here's this new passion, but I'm going to stick to traditionally what I know is going to work for me. But either way, you know, I still feel good about the Ace of Pentacles being the overall here. But I don't know, I feel constricted by the Hierophant. Because, right, like I think there are times where, yeah, traditional value and social norms are what we need to stick to. Other times it's time to think outside the fucking box, especially because of death coming through, you know? Okay, and you know, Leo, like, really, this has been consistent for you for I don't know how fucking long now. The Eight of Cups is your best path to follow. There is something that you have been investing yourself into that isn't making you happy anymore, and you gotta move on. You have to. Wow, man. And, you know, like I always say, these are general. It's only going to be for, you know, some of you here. But these feel very specific this time. But damn it, Leo, right? Like, the opportunities that you have available to you cannot be taken advantage of unless something is allowed to be over with. But you have to move on. But some of you may not be doing that because it's like with the Hierophant, needing to follow through to the end, right? Like, I can't abandon this. I have to commit. I have to see it all the way through. And all the while, here are these opportunities for you, right? Now, if this is about career, for some of you, it's, you know, one career path just is not working. It's not fulfilling. You're not getting what you should be out of it. There's definitely other opportunities there for you. But the thing is, you know, with the Hierophant, again, it's like you may be stuck in like a contract, right? That does come up with the Hierophant. But relationship, yeah, some of you, you know, this may be a marriage that you feel like you're stuck with, right? Now, that doesn't have to be for all of you. Now, it could be that for some of you, you know, there may be a passion for somebody else who is committed and, you know, they need to move on, or you're not going to get any fulfillment from this and you need to. But this has been a consistent message for you with the Eight of Cups. Oh my God. What the fuck, Leo? The hell is going on? Look at it. The Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. Oh. The Ace of Cups being in your environment. Yeah, I would say that for some of you, passion, love, relationships, this may have to do with something that, has been like restarted for you. With death, it could be showing that, it was definitely over with in the past, but maybe not. But I still feel clinging onto something that needs to be let go of in order for something new to start. And you've got all of them. Like, you got the passion, you got the emotions, you're looking at it from what is realistic with the Ace of Coins, but we can't do shit with any of these beginnings here unless you move on from something. But the Hierophant may be, constricting you right now. Like, I have to. This is what is sociably acceptable. My God, if I could talk right. But man, a lot of people don't ever get to see things like this. Okay, let me just say that. Right? So if this is resonating with you, seriously, Leo, look at it. Look at all of these beautiful new beginnings. Out of death? If you would just let something die, right? If you would just let something be over with. But you still gotta move on with that Eight of Cups. Your hopes and your fears, Temperance. Okay. I look at that and I think that some of you are holding yourself back, right? Like, I look at Temperance and I think of sometimes being complacent, or like wanting to please everybody, not wanting to like rock the boat here. Now, for some of you, it's I'm not in a place where I am balanced. I need balance first. Like, I need to have that equilibrium here before I can do anything. For some of you, and then I go back to imagine. You may be in a place where you're looking at everything that's available to you and not thinking that any of it's realistic. Seriously, Seven of Cups issues, right? But this is hoping that, if things just balance out, that you can just stick to what you know with the Hierophant, right? And stick to, this set way of doing something. But this is also about moderation and patience and balance. But the thing is your advice is the Eight of Cups. So if you're hoping that things are going to balance out with that being your advice, that's a no. That's stop being so like people pleasing almost, because you're not benefiting. It's interesting with Temperance being there. But I also look at that and I think that some of you are just hoping that, you can hold yourself off from doing something that would make things worse. Because I think that a lot of you are hoping that this situation is going to get better. But the thing is it's over with death. It's saying it's done, And then coming out the Nine of Cups. Oh my God, Leo, what the hell is going on? Oh, okay. Let me start with what's going on in the present moment with your two aces. You have the passion, the fire, and the drive, and then you have the Ace of Cups, which could be about something that brings emotional fulfillment to you, a new beginning in love, right? And you have the passionate drive with this. You have the Queen of Swords, first of all, with the Four of Cups, and this is one of those things where this may be an opportunity coming around that I think that a lot of you thought was just dead, right? But I still think that with death and looking at the Hierophant, some of you are staying with a situation here that needs to be over with. You're clinging onto it because of the traditional values or what is acceptable, or needing to see something through to the end. But looking at the Queen of Swords and the Four of Cups, this is, I don't want to play games. I want honesty, and I'm not going to accept an offer that it does not look good, right? Like with the Four of Cups, you're talking about boredom, emotional apathy, and that may have been what was going on in the past, right? But here's this opportunity again, and you have the passion, the drive to want to act, but with the Nine of Swords, there's fear and anxiety when it comes to this. And that may be because of this whole feeling of the Queen of Swords and the Four of Cups. I didn't exactly get what I wanted last time, so why should I play this game again? But we're getting swept up here, but there's fear and anxiety. But the thing is with the Five of Cups, there's disappointment because somebody can't follow through when they could, right? Like, I look at the King of Pentacles and think that this is somebody who could make a situation successful, but there's been disappointment with this person and not being able to get things started here, right? There's disappointment when it comes to dependability, or somebody who, is not making themselves completely available for this, but yet it's still here right now. Right now, it could be disappointment that somebody else is in the way, which is creating this fear and anxiety. But for some of you, it's disappointment that I can't take these opportunities right now because you are providing for a very different situation that you need to move on from, Now, and in terms of, this starting, it looks like there's going to be, this disappointment about it not being something that, you're going to be successful at with the King of Coins. Now, coming out though, when we're talking about having your wishes fulfilled with the Hierophant, the first thing that's showing up here with the Knight of Swords is we're talking about very harsh, direct communication, words that cut, but it has to do with another party. And again, like being involved with somebody that's in the way, somebody that may be married with the Hierophant, right? But not wanting to be the third party. We're directly communicating that. I am not doing that. The world is talking about a successful completion or not being able to get closure on an issue. And I say that because the High Priestess is like, we're still observing this. There are still some things that you're seeing that's kind of like going on that makes you think that, well, maybe this isn't the end of the road just yet because of all these new beginnings. Now, for some of you, if it's about major life change, right, it is about the successful completion here. But there are things that you are not aware of, which has to do with your wants, your desires, having your wishes fulfilled, especially when it comes to a beginning of a new relationship, or even a relationship that you may have had with somebody where it wasn't seen all the way through. Now, you don't want to invest in something emotionally that's not going to give you what you want, especially looking at the Five of Cups. But I still think that for a lot of you, this has been so consistent with Leo. There is something that you need to move on from. You have to move on from it now. It's not giving you what you need. Now, going back to conformity here with the Hierophant, looking at Judgment and the Seven of Swords, we don't want to keep secrets. We don't want to have to do anything on the down low. That's why it's still a very realistic opportunity, but we haven't seen it progress yet because we don't want to face that judgment, right? Now, for some of you, you're needing to review the situation here because intentions are not very clear with the Seven of Swords. But again, like, if you're dealing with somebody who is married here, this is not the way to create what you desire. And you know this, right? But the thing is that we can't imagine anything else unless a situation comes to an end and you move on. All right. So one of the things that I'm hearing is that for a lot of you, you're going to be grateful for this adventure, or for a lot of you, you may be looking at adventures that you've had and you're very grateful that you've had that experience. But it's bringing up some compassion here. Now, for some of you, this is about having compassion for yourself, especially where, you're being let down and disappointed and not being emotionally fulfilled when you have the Ace of Cups right fucking there. It's right there. But I would say that for some of you, whether or not this adventure works out, there are still going to be a lot of things that you're going to be grateful for. And it's going to be one of those things where if you follow this through and you walk away from something, the outcome could be very different here, right? Like we always say, nothing's ever set in stone. But it may be that you're grateful that I finally got rid of this out of my life. I'm not doing this anymore, right? And then there's more compassion coming through to you. But this could also be you having more compassion for yourself, right? And then forgiveness. Nothing can be gained by holding on to past disappointments. And that may have to do with what's going on here, right? Needing to forgive it, let it go. We can have this new beginning. You can't deny the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups, man. That's a powerful fucking combination. I rarely ever see that. And then you have the Nine of Cups coming out. But love endures. The heart wants what it wants, right? You can't, it's not that easy to just give up on our desires. But this may be one of those situations where if it does have to do with love, it just keeps going. It keeps going. It's not giving up, right? But I still say, Leo, that you're going to have to really look at what you are currently dealing with that you know needs to die, that you keep investing into. But if we're talking about a love situation where there's a new opportunity here, it may be that you need to forgive, and maybe we need to walk away from the emotions that are not going to fulfill a situation, right? It could go either way. You guys are definitely going to have to let me know on this one. But it would make sense, right? Wanting to create what you want the right way and not wanting to have to deal with things that are not clear. But something has to come to an end with death, or something that has been over with needs to change, right? We can't go back to how things were, definitely with death. But man, the opportunities you have right now, don't allow conformity to hold you back or make you feel like you have to see something through to the end when you know damn well you need to move on from it.